All right, welcome back everybody to today's video. Today's class we are going to be looking at keywords properly. But the previous lesson I was supposed to show you what face, edges, and the vertices are in using a particular solid shape. So I'm going to use this as an example before I go to today's class properly. Now, like I said, that is an example of a solid. This is a pyramid. Now, we want to know what the face of the shape is. This is the face of this solid. In this particular solid, now this is a face here or here is the what? The face. Is that clear? And I want to know what the edge are. These are what? The edges. This side, this side, this side, these sides are what? The edges. And then the vertices are what? These are the vertices. This corner here, this corner, here, 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 and here are what? The vertices. Don't forget, one more time, these are the faces. And here, this is a particular face, this is another face. What are the edges? These are the edges. Here, here. Is that clear? And the vertices are these points here, this corner here, this corner are the vertices. Is that clear? All right. Now let's go to today's class properly. Now, before I proceed to today's class properly, I will implore you all to please subscribe if you have not subscribed. And I'll also ask you to please hit the notification bell so that you'll be the first to know anytime I upload, because you really do not want to miss out on any of our content. Alright, please try as much as possible also to help us to push this video to as many viewers as possible by clicking on the share button. And please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up so that we can actually beat the YouTube algorithm and skyrocket our viewership. All right, thank you. Now I'm going to give you a particular picture of a cuboid, and then you are going to treat this question along with me. The first question is this: how many cubes are in one layer? Let me show you what the pictures look like so that you understand what I'm saying. I'm going to be holding this book throughout because I really do not want to draw them. Now look at this cuboid very well. This cuboid, it is made up of layers of cuboid. One layer, this is one layer here. This one layer actually contains how many cubes? If you look at it closely, this one layer of a cuboid contains how many cubes? You'll be the one to know that. I don't want to tell you what it is. So let's see. This one layer. Now, this one layer, we have several of this one layer inside these that make up this giant cuboid. Is that clear? So based on this picture that I'm showing you right now, we are going to look at these following examples and following questions to see if you can use this to actually solve the problem. Are we ready? Have you taken note of the picture of this diagram? All right. Now let's look at the question one after the other. Now the first question is this: how many cubes are in one layer? Let's look at it together. This is one layer, like I said earlier. This is one layer. Now several of these layers make up this giant one layer. That is just step by step. You put one layer, you put yet another layer, you put yet another layer until it makes up this giant cuboid. So the question is this: how many cubes are in one layer? So this is one layer. How many cubes do we have inside this one layer? Let's look at it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 cubes in one layer. Have you seen that? We have 9 cubes in this one layer. Is that clear? All right, 9 cubes. Now the second question is: how many cubes are in the whole cuboid? How many? This is one layer has how many cubes? Just 9 cubes. Now in the whole of this giant cuboid, how many cubes do you think we have there? Now one of the easiest way with which you can calculate the number of the whole cubes that we have in this giant cuboid is just to know the number of layers that we have there. If you know the number of layers that we have there, we'll be able to multiply by the number of cubes that we have in one layer. Does that make sense? Such that if I have 2 layers here altogether, it would have been 9 times 2, that is 18 cubes. So let's see the number of layers that we have in the giant cuboid. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 layers like that, and in each layer we have 9 cubes, meaning that the whole cubes that we have all together here will be what? 9 times 4, and that will be what? 36 cubes. Is that clear? That will be what? 9 times 4, and that will give us what? 36 cubes. Now number 3 question is: if the outside of the cuboid is painted red, we want to know how many cubes have 3 red faces. 3 red faces. Now if you look at this picture here, we want to look at the number of sides that has 3 red faces. Now if everything is painted red, the one that are inside will surely not be painted red. Do you understand? Take for instance, look at this one layer like this. So we want to know the number that is what? number of cubes that are what? That have 3 red faces. For example, this side now, if you take it one by one, we want to look at the one that have 3 red faces. This is one layer. You can see that this one is 1, 2. This one has 2 faces of red. This one has 2 faces of red, 2 faces of red. So this, which one contains 3 red faces? It has to be this one that are up here. Let's take it one by one. This is a face. This is another face. This is another face. Meaning that this cube here has what? 3 red faces. Do you understand? So we have one here, another one here too, another one at this corner here, another one at this corner to make 4. So if you have 4 altogether up, definitely down two will have 4, and 4 times 2 is going to be what? 8. So altogether we have what? 8 cubes. Here we have what? 8 cubes that have what? 3 red faces. Now the next question is this: how many cubes have only 2 red faces? Just 2 red faces. How many cubes have only 2 red faces? So this is what you want to do. You might want to look at the layer one by one. When you want to do that, one of the things you can do for yourself is just to say, oh, let's take it layer by layer to make it what? Easier. We want to look at the one that have only 2 red faces. So if I take this layer for instance, or if I go back to this bigger cuboid, this angle here is 3 faces. The next one here is what? 2. Do you understand? Then the next one here is 3 faces. So definitely I cannot use this first one here, this big one. I can't use the second one. But the one at the middle here is what? 2 red face. Do you understand? Just like if you look at this layer now, you have 2 red face here. So this other side too, we have 2. This other side we have 2. So you count them all together. So the number of one that has 2 red faces will be what? It will be 16 altogether. Let me show you how it is red. How it is what? 16. We want to look at the cubes that have what? They have only 2 red faces. 2, only 2. So if you take this cube here, this one has 3 red faces, so you can't pick that. You go to this next one, you have 1, 2. So you can see that this one has 2 red faces. So if I have 1 here, I have 1 here. That is on the first layer. Now if you go to the second layer, which one has 2 red faces? Definitely this next one. We have 2 red faces. So if we have 2 up, this is 3 and 4. 3 and 4. So you have 2 in between here. So if you have 2 in between here, 2 here, that's 4. 2 here, that's 6. The other side, that's what? 8. And we have 2 here, that is what? 10. Do you understand? Then we'll go to this place to start check again. Altogether we have 60. So take a closer look at this picture one by one to be sure to know the one that has what? Red faces. Is that clear? It has to be what? 16 altogether. Alright, now let's look at the one that has, how many cubes have only 1 red face? Let's see the one that has just 1 red face. Now let's take this one to grade one by one. The one that has just 1 red face. If you have this layer now, which one has just 1 red face? Let's take it one by one. This one has 2 red faces. This one too, we surely have 2 red faces. This side that is showing and the side that is underneath it. This one too has 2 red faces. So which one now has just, how many has now have 1 red face? Well, that means the whole of the upper layer here, the only one that will have red face among all this one, because when you look at this, everyone around here have red faces, but the only one that does not seem to have any red face does not even occur here at all. So the first layer does not have anyone that does not have a red face. The same thing, the one that is underneath does not have anyone that does not have what? Any red face. So but the one that is on the second and third layer, let's look at them all together. When you go to the second layer, all these sides that you are seeing outside does not have any what? Red layer. But the one that is inside, that is not showing to us here, altogether, that has only 1 red face, it's just 2. When you pick one in the third layer and one in the fourth layer, is that clear? Just have this, well, by the time you dismantle this layer and this layer one by one into 4 places, we'll let you to see how exactly that thing is. Do you understand? All right. Then, how many cubes have no red face at all? How many cubes have no red face at all? I told that the one that have 1 red face layer is what? It's 10. And the one that does not How many cubes have no red face at all? The one that does not have any red face at all is just what? It's just 2. Do you understand? I know that this thing is somehow dicey. So one of the only way you can understand it better is to have, maybe you should draw it out one by one. Do you understand? And then you start painting to make it easy for you. Draw it out in layers like this one by one to split it so that you can understand better. Thank you everybody for watching today's video. As much as I know that this might sound so confusing, only have to do, the only thing that can help you out is to draw this whole keyboard out in smaller units like this in layers, and then you color it so that you know the one that has 1 red face, 2 red faces, 3 red faces, or 4 red faces, or the one that does not even have red face at all. Do you understand? And try your hands and try to figure it out so that you can understand better. Alright, thank you everybody for watching today's video. I'll see you in the next class.